Okay, it is now 6:20. We're going to go ahead and get started. So first of all, I would like to, number one, thank everyone for attending this virtual parent meeting, for taking the time to come out on a Thursday evening. For those of you who do not know who I am, my name is Mr. VC. I'm the director over the Enrichment Masters programs. So there are 5 discussion topics that we're going to go over today. I'm going to do my best to keep this as brief as possible because, believe it or not, I have another virtual parent meeting to go into to jump right into after this one. So please know that this particular meeting is being recorded for the sake of any parents who wanted to attend but could not. We will be posting it on the website so they can go view it at a later time. And then later on towards the end, I will open the floor up for a brief Q&A as time permits and as it's related to these discussion topics. So let's go ahead and delve right into it. The first thing I'd like to talk about for any parents who are new to Enrichment Masters, one of the things that you may have heard us mention at the very beginning is that we use a project-based model here, which simply means that each week that our instructors come out and are training the students, they are preparing them for a final project or presentation of some kind, which usually culminates into a large event. So the first thing I want to discuss is these events. So I'm going to briefly share my screen, quickly share my screen. And because I cannot see this screen when I'm sharing it, I'm going to ask if someone will please let me know when you can see my screen, if someone can audibly let me know. So can you all see my screen?
Yes, we can see it.
Okay, thank you so much. I appreciate that. All right, so let's talk about the first event. So all 4 of these events that I'm going to be showing you will be taking place in the month of December. Tentatively, they're slated to be conducted or be held during the 3rd week of December. Right now, we're finalizing the details with a particular venue that we're in negotiations with. So once everything has been finalized, we will be sharing the date, the location, and the time with you, the parent. So this first event, which is called a Night of Enrichment, is our largest event for the fall because it includes not only 7 of our enrichment programs, but it also includes 15 of the schools that we serve in Broward County. Those schools that would be participating are Banyan Elementary and Sunrise, Country Hills and Coral Springs, Dolphin Bay and Miramar, Eagle Point up the street from you all in Weston, Imagine Charter in Weston, Indian Trace, Palm Cove and Pines, Riverside and Coral Springs, Peters Elementary and Plantation, Silver Lakes and Miramar, Somerset Central Miramar, Somerset, North Lauderdale, Village Elementary and Sunrise, West Park in Hollywood, and Winston Park in Coconut Creek. And the 7 enrichment programs that will be participating in this particular event is fashion design, pottery and ceramics, our sketching and comic book creators, actors and screenwriters, podcasting, music production, and film production. So this is our largest event. We're expecting anywhere between 700 to 1,000 people in attendance. And we like to make sure that our events are an experience. We want our students to have an experience. We want you, our parents, to have an experience whenever you come to our events. And so this is one of them that will be taking place. So I don't want to linger here too long because I want to get to the ones that are most relevant to Indian Trace. So that brings us to our next large event, which is our Robot Rumble Tournament. As you can see, there are 10 schools within Broward County that have our enrichment, our robotics enrichment program. And so what will happen is the students from Indian Trace, their team will be competing against other teams, other students from other schools within the Enrichment Masters Network. So right now, I believe this is only week 3 for the students at Indian Trace, which they're still in the introductory period. Right now, we're introducing them to some very rudimentary, foundational beginner robots, which are the solar robot kits that they're working on, so that we can familiarize them with the different components of building and programming an actual robot. So within, I would say, maybe around the 8-week, not even 8-week, within around the 5 to 6 week period, that's when they're going to start working on their competition robot, which is a more advanced robot that they will not only have to assemble, but begin learning how to program, because that's the one that they will be competing against other students with. So again, we're expecting anywhere between 500 to 7 people in attendance. So this is going to be a large event as well. We do our best to choose a central location. So as I mentioned, even with the 15 schools there in Broward County, they are, scattered all throughout, whether it be in Coral Springs, Miramar, Weston, or Plantation. We try to make sure that no party has to travel too far out of their way in order to attend this event where your children will be competing. So this is going to be a very exciting, energetic event that your students will definitely enjoy. You, the parents, will enjoy as well. It's always, a wonderful thing whenever students get to interact with other like-minded students from other schools as well, and when they're engaged in friendly competition. So I want to keep it moving. The next big event is our Ultimate Drumline Competition Part 2. So as you can see, just like the robotics competition, there are 9 other schools that have our drumline program. So this is usually a fairly big event as well, which will be even larger than last year. We're expecting around 500 to 700 people in attendance as well. I mean, the students come out and, they do their best to put on a show, playing their drumline cadences and performance pieces. We usually like to have a guest performer as well, whether it be a local high school drumline or a college drumline. It's something that's not only entertaining, but we like to, have representation there and, have something that the students can aspire to, should they choose to continue, along the path of sticking with drumming or music in general. So that is the other large event that's going to be taking place in December. And then last but not least, I'm not going to linger here, is our 3-on-3 basketball ballers tournament that involves 3 other schools: Palm Cove, Riverside, and Winston Park. So I'm going to very quickly stop sharing my screen. So once again, I'd like to pivot back to one of the reasons why we only permit students to change their program once is because if they're constantly switching back and forth, then they're not going to have enough time to acquire the skills that they need in order to prepare for their final project or presentation, which will be taking place during those December events. So again, family and friends are definitely welcome to attend. We want you to attend to come and enjoy and watch what your children have been working on and working towards. So let's move on to the next discussion topic, And that would be something that I'm very excited about, which is a new system that we're going to be moving to. I'd like to begin by, number one, apologizing for any frustrations that you as parents experience toward the first couple of weeks of the program. I'd like to share this with you, whether you're aware of it or not. So last year, we were only working with 6 schools and roughly about 175 students overall. This year, we've grown to serving 25 schools, 15 schools in Broward County and 10 schools in Dade County. So, we quickly leaped from 175 students to dealing with more than 1,100 in Broward County and an additional 1,000 students in Dade County. So as you can imagine, the previous and current system that we had in place just was not adequate to handle that type of volume, which was why we realized that we quickly needed to find something that would meet our needs. So the new system that we're going to be migrating over to is powered by Kangaroo Time. I can tell you right now, me along with our IT department, we've sat through at least about 9 different demonstrations, sitting with different vendors and asking all type of questions so that we could find the right platform and software that would not only meet our needs, but that we felt would also meet the needs of you as the parent and empower you to be able to, make changes on your own rather than needing to rely on us. And so this new system, we're quite confident that you are going to love it. You can log in anytime, update any information that you need, whether it be an address or, trying to switch into a different enrichment program time, whether it be switching from 2 to 3 or from 3 to 4, that kind of thing. And so a couple of things I do want to point out with this new system, and even it streamlines the sign out and checkout process as well. So with the new system, we are going to be migrating all of your current information into the new system. So parents, you will not have to register all over again and and enter all of your information again. So all of the information that's in this current in our current system, all of your information, all of the students' information will be migrated over into this new system. However, the only things that you will be required to do, so you will receive an email prompting you to, number one, to create your own personalized password, so you can log in anytime into your profile and to your dashboard and make whatever changes you see fit. And then the second thing you will be required to do is to, unfortunately, you'll have to re-enter your payment information into this new system. The reason why that is necessary, obviously, because they are 2 separate vendors, one vendor cannot legally share your credit card information with another. So that you will be required to do again when we migrate everything over into the new system. So the migration process will start next week, actually. Unfortunately, it is somewhat of a lengthy process and will not be fully completed until around mid to late October. So that's when we do expect to have everyone and fully switched over into this new system. So again, we're quite certain that you're going to love it. The students are going to love it. We're going to love it because it will make life so much easier and simpler for everyone. So again, we apologize for any frustrations or headaches that you experienced early on. Please know that we're well aware of it, and every day we are working towards making things more efficient and simplified for you, the parents, and your children, because we ultimately want you to have an enjoyable and positive experience as your children, continue with this program. So moving on, that brings me to the next topic. So the next thing that I would like to discuss is we've had some parents who've asked us to share our curriculum with you all. So we cannot share our full curriculum with you, whether you realize it or not. In the educational support services industry, which is the industry that our company is in, you constantly have other parties, other vendors, visiting your website, trying to get ideas to see, what they can do and incorporate and implement with their own thing. And so our curriculum is proprietary. However, what we have elected to do starting next week, what we will be doing is sharing with you a weekly program activities overview, which will, in a sense, paint a picture week to week of what your child is undertaking in these sessions. So I'm going to once again quickly share my screen, and I'm going to ask if someone will volunteer just to verbally let me know when you can see my screen. So can everyone see what I'm sharing?
Yes.
Okay. Thank you so much for that. Okay, so the weekly program activities overview is going to look something similar to this. So as you can see, it'll let you know what the week is for. So in this particular example, it would be for the week of September 19th. It'll let you know the school. You'll see the program. So in this particular example, it's pottery and ceramics. It'll share with you what the weekly project is, such as creating your own Rubik's Cube. It'll also share with you, the parent, what the covered terms and skills are. So whether it be smoothing, learning about how to create a cube or a sphere or a prism. It'll also share with you what the learning or practice activities are for that particular session. So whether or not they're going and practicing water control techniques or pottery wheel techniques or other smoothing techniques. It'll also have include any links to any at-home practice activities that the instructor wants the students to go home and review. And then last but not least, it'll also let you, the parent, know what project or final presentation or event these sessions are preparing them for. So as I said, we've opted to share this with you, the parent, for a couple of reasons. Not only so you'll be aware of what your child is undertaking and learning for that session, but our hope is that for you as a parent, that it'll help you to engage in a more substantive dialogue with your child. So rather than, for example, you picking them up after enrichment masters and you asking them, hey, how was drumline today? And them saying, oh, it was okay. It was good. I had fun. And for parents, those of you like myself, as your kids get older into middle school and high school, sometimes the trend is that it becomes a bit more challenging and difficult to get more information out of them. And so, our hope is that with you knowing in advance that, hey, this week they're going over smoothing techniques in pottery, or hey, this week in drumline, they're going to be going over learning how to do a 5-stroke drum roll, or going over paradiddles or different things like that. You'll be able to, next time when you pick them up, you'll be able to say, hey, I saw today that you guys are going to be learning the difference between match grip and traditional grip. tell me about that. How did that go? And then rather than your child saying, oh, it was good. You'll then hope, we got to hold our hands in a different way. Before we were holding it like this. And then they told us, the left hand has to be flipped like so. And, it was a little tricky, but, we ended up getting it. And it took some time. And then we went over this and that. And so, again, with having this resource now available to you on a weekly basis, that QT, that quality time with your child, is something that we as parents yearn for, because we're often just so busy with so many things. And so any opportunity that we at Enrichment Masters can help you as a parent to be engaged, or in interacting with your child in a more engaging and quote unquote sophisticated or higher level of conversation, then we want to do that for you, because again, I mean, these kids, they grow up so fast. Um, and while they are participating in this program, those start next week. You'll start receiving those, so you'll know what they are participating in. Which brings me to the next thing, which is the next payment. So as I said, most of you are in week 3 of this first payment period of the programs. And again, I do want to stress this: as the weeks continue, things are only going to intensify, because again, as you can see, these events and these presentations, they're going to roll around real fast. And there's a lot that we're going to need to go, the instructors are going to need to go over with them. So things are only going to pick up as the weeks progress. And so with that being said, when it comes to the next payment period, which is coming up, which will be due next week for most of you, just a few things. Number one, the payments that you pay or make each month, they cover 4 sessions, or think of it as 4 weeks. So regardless of whether you started on the 9th, I believe, which was your first Friday, or whether you started on the 16th, your payments are always going to cover 4 sessions. So if you started on the 9th, then that means that your first payment covered the 9th, the 16th, the 23rd, and the 30th. However, if your child started on the 16th, then it would cover the 16th, the 23rd, the 30th, and October 7th. So those payments are always going to cover 4 sessions, regardless of when you started. So we will be sending out, as a matter of fact, I believe starting tonight, those emails will be going out starting tonight and tomorrow. You'll be receiving a link that will allow you to pay for the next period. And then there's one more thing that I did want to share that we realized that a lot of parents were not aware of. So even though Indian Trace, I believe you all perhaps maybe have about 60 or so students, 60 or more students participating at your school. There are other schools such as Country Hills that has about 200 students participating in the schools. And so the reason why I mention that is because sometimes, depending on the program, if a particular program, let's say like robotics and engineering, which is a very popular one, if it gets filled up, a lot of times you have some parents kind of lying in wait to be able to jump in and take a spot if there's a parent and a student who chooses to no longer attend. And so what some parents do, rather than paying month to month, sometimes they'll just choose to pay for all of their sessions in advance up front, so they don't risk losing their spot. Because, you know, sometimes as parents, we may see an email, you know, telling us about, hey, this payment is coming up, and we're thinking to ourselves, okay, I'll get to that Friday. And then Friday passes and you forget. And then another one, oh, okay, I'll get to that next Tuesday. And then next Tuesday passes. And then the next thing you know, you've completely forgotten. And because you didn't make the payment on time, you end up losing your spot to another student. And so to avoid that happening, we did want to make sure that we communicated that parents do have the option of just taking care of all of the remaining sessions for this particular fall semester, if you wish. So that covers that topic, and good, I'm doing pretty good on time. So I have at least a good 10 minutes left, which brings me to the last topic that I want to bring up, and that is the ice cream stations that will be coming out next week and the outings that will be taking place in the spring. So I'd like to quickly just bring up what our core values are in the Enrichment Masters program. And the first core value, which is focus, that's something that we like to help instill in the students. The second core value is friendship, helping students learn how to cultivate a friendship. And the third core value is fortitude, you know, helping them to develop that can do, no quit attitude. You know, just because something is difficult or challenging doesn't mean that you quit. You know, you find that tenacity, you know, find that strength, that inner strength within you that says, you know what, let me grit my teeth and, you know, I can do this. Just because it's hard doesn't mean that I can't do it. Let me put in some extra work, even if it comes to academics. You know, let me find a tutor, or let me put in some more study time. Let me do what is required so I can master this thing and learn it, rather than, you know, just take the easy road, which is to say, oh, this is too hard, let me just quit and try something else. So, you know, those are, I'm sorry, and the last core value is fun. You know, those are things that, you know, that we've identified that are very important when it comes to students and youth. And so pivoting back to the ice cream station and the outings, we like to, you know, create as many opportunities as possible for students to interact with other students and to help them to initiate and to foster more friendships, because not every kid knows how to do that. And especially on the elementary school level, you know, most students, especially in the primary grades and at least up into fourth grade, are confined to and limited to only interacting with the students in their class, so those other 18 students. And very rarely do they get to interact with students in other classes and throughout the school. And so one of the things that we found is very helpful is that 9 times out of 10, when the student is in one of these enrichment programs, whether it be something like robotics, a lot of times they are surrounded with other like-minded students. So let's say, for instance, you know, when your child is at home, a student in robotics, a lot of times, you know, at home, they may love playing video games or enjoy doing puzzles and, you know, building things and so forth. And usually within that same group, they find multiple other students who like doing the same thing. And a lot of times when they are working as a group to build a robot, you know, they're engaged in conversations and they're talking about other things that are not just related to the robot that they're building, but you know, they start talking about, you know, oh, you know, I was, my mom bought me this Pokemon puzzle or Fortnite puzzle. I don't know. I'm just throwing that out there. And then, you know, they're able to start, you know, talking about these other things with other students. And next thing you know, a friendship starts um, fostering and starts building. And so whether it's eating ice cream with their group mates or with other students in the program, or going on outings, let's say with Drumline. So one of the spring outings is going to be going to a college Drumline competition, which parents will be able to attend as well. But whether it's at an outing and, they're interacting with not only students within their group, but they get to interact with students from the other schools as well. Those are very memorable situations and activities that will stay with them, and those poignant moments. And so whatever we can do to help even you as a parent get that QT in different settings and exposing them to different things, then we want to do that. And so the ice cream station and the outings, all of that is just a part of it. Kicking back and relaxing for a little while, eating ice cream, talking with your friends and your group, that helps them to create these new friendships. And so with that being said, that is my last discussion topic. I don't want to be too sappy, but again, we do everything that we can to help you as the parent, to give you these opportunities, because again, they're really precious. I'm a parent myself, and so I get it. I mean, these kids, you blink and next thing you know, they're 10. You blink and next thing you know, they're 15. You blink and next thing you know, they're going off to college. And so whatever time we can help you to get more time and engage in those memorable conversations, then we're going to do it. So that being said, I'd like to open the floor up to anyone who has any questions related to these discussion topics. I am more than happy to answer any questions that you may have. And if not, for those of you who think I've covered and answered any questions that you thought you had, then again, I thank you all for taking the time to attend this meeting on a Thursday. And yeah, hopefully I will see you again soon at these events, because we're revved up and we're getting prepared for them. So yes, if there are any questions, by all means, please ask it, and I'm ready to answer it. So does anyone have any questions? No questions, really? Okay, we have one.
So how are we going to system?
Okay, I'm sorry, I didn't catch that. Do you mind repeating that question?
If we're gonna make a payment now, for example, do we do that? How do we do that? Do we wait for a new system next week, or how do we make a payment?
No. So the new system, as I said, that migration won't be completed until toward the end of October. So when it comes with the next payment, one of the things that I mentioned is that we're going to be sending out, as a matter of fact, starting tonight, you, the parent, will receive an email that has a link that allows you to make the next payment. So you'll be receiving those links starting tonight and tomorrow.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome.
Sorry, quick question here.
Okay. Yes. Who is this? Miss Sanchez who is speaking?
Yes. Hello.
Okay. Hi. How can I help you?
Yes, my son Julian was part of Drumline last season.
Julian.
Yes. Julian, he loved it,
Yeah.
and I wanted to know if he can he join beginning next Friday? Do you have space in Indian Trace?
Yes, I believe Indian Trace does have space in their 2 to 3 Drumline.
Oh, perfect. So should I email you, or should I just just find the link and
no? Pay? Yeah, you would just simply go to the website and sign them up. Okay, perfect.
Alrighty, and okay, I'll be able to do that beginning next Friday. I think that's a new month.
Yes, you can. Or you can register him now. It doesn't matter.
Okay. Thank you so much.
You're welcome. Okay. I see that. I believe it's Andrea.
Yes. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay, I have two questions. If we want to sign them up for the spring, do I have to do it now? Because I didn't select it when I was registering her for Sophia.
Okay. So for the spring, if you want to, you can secure their spot for the spring now with the payment. So with the spring, you don't have to do the registration form all over again because their information is already in the system. You would just simply make whatever spring payment for whatever enrichment program that you want them to attend.
But now,
And
or
just so
I
you,
have to wait until the end of the year, of this year?
you can do it now if you want to secure it now, or you can wait till a little bit later. When it comes to Indian Trace, so even though they have robotics and drumline, again for the spring, they will be engaged in different projects. So I do want to make that part abundantly clear.
Okay. And can they join both activities or has to be only one?
No, yes, you can do two. So they could do one from 2 to 3, and the other they would do from 3 to 4.
Okay. And the other one is for the ice cream. How much they have to pay for it? Do they pay cash or is something that you guys provide for the kids? So how does it work?
No, that's a link. So we'll be sharing that too. I believe we sent out a constant contact that should have come through, but that's paid if you go onto the website into the EM store. You'll see a link where you buy the ice cream credit.
Also, we have to buy it through they don't have to pay anything, do they?
You buy the credit online, so you don't give them cash if that's what you're asking.
Okay. Okay. Thank you.
Okay, you're welcome.
Yes, I have a quick
Are there any other
question.
questions?
Yeah, I have one quick.
Yes, Mr. Pinto.
It's regarding the ice cream as well. In the link that you sent a couple of weeks ago, it does not work when it comes. There is a link that that you can go over and take a look at what type of ice creams they have. That link work.
So you're saying the link that shows the types of ice creams is not working?
Yep, it did not work for me at least.
Okay, so what I will do is I will what I'll do is I'll make our IT department aware of that so they can fix that.
Okay, sounds good. Yeah, because Joaquin, as soon as he saw ice cream, he went crazy. So.
Oh, that's funny. That is funny. Okay. All right. So we'll make sure that they fix that.
Okay. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Sorry, I do have another question. Sorry.
No, yeah,
When's the best time to call? Because when I was trying to register my daughter, I really have a hard time trying to do it through the system. I actually called like 3 times at different times during the day, in the afternoon, and when I was lucky and someone answered the phone, they said they will call me back, and I never got the phone call back. So actually, the last day I was able to register her. But if we have a question, what's the best time to call and get someone to actually help you and assist you with anything?
That's actually a very good question, and that goes along with one of the things that I was talking about earlier that I was apologizing for when it came to frustrations that we know some of the parents experience. So as you can imagine, we do have people in place to answer the phone. We just didn't realize that when you jump from 175 to 1,100 students, as you can imagine, that's also going to be an increase in the number of parents that you have calling our phones from the 15 other schools around the same time. So we have added more people to our team to be able to handle more calls. Typically, the morning is the best time to reach someone. As I said, we do have more people to handle the increased volume in calls. But during the times of, let's say, between 1 and 4, that's usually the more challenging time to get someone on the phone. So we are answering calls at that time, but just, you know, be aware that it's not just your school that we are answering calls for. It's 14 other schools within Broward and 10 other schools in Dayton. So like I said, each day we are adding more people to our team to be able to improve that response time. So again, we do apologize for that. We know that it had to be quite frustrating. And like I said, every day we are making improvements so that no longer becomes an impediment to you, the parent, because we do want to make sure that you're able to reach us in a timely manner.
Thank you.
You're welcome. So for right now, again, mornings are the best, and any time before 1 and 4 p.m.
Great.
Okay. So unfortunately, believe it or not, I have to jump into another virtual parent meeting. Again, I thank you all for taking the time. This meeting was recorded, so for anyone who came in late or if you missed something, we will be posting this recording on our website so you can view it at a later time. Thank you, thank you, thank you. And I hope to see you all again soon. Have a good night.